Hey, everyone.
Hello. How's everyone doing?
Hello.
We'll give it until about 3 after for folks to trickle in.
Cool. Taking over in anticipation.
Awesome. Yeah, I downloaded the new Zoom and it was very difficult this morning to figure out how to claim the host. All right, so it is 3 after. Let's get started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the April 13th weekly meeting for SIG Multicluster. It looks like, Laura, you have the floor.
Thanks. All right, so I want to go through a few points from stuff going on with the DNS work, and then just do a quick call out about what's up with cluster ID. So regarding DNS, for anybody who doesn't know, this is about multi-cluster DNS. So there's a proposal. I actually probably should have put it in here, but I'm typing in chat. Sorry, I can't do two things at once, apparently. Woo, okay. And there's also linked a specific slide with some background on it too, so I'll add those to the agenda notes as well. But the sort of ongoing conversation is available to happen in this pull request, which I'm happily taking comments to. But I also stopped by SIG Network 2 weeks ago to talk to them as well. And in particular, I asked them these questions, which had been kind of bumping around from conversations here at SIG Multicluster and elsewhere. The sort of most important one that I'm kind of going to bring a couple points up today and then leave it a little bit open for discussion or just even advice about where I should take this next is whether we should even include SRV records. So when I went to SIG network, there were a couple known use cases of SRV records that people brought up. So one of them is for Active Directory. Another one, which had also been brought up by people at SIG Multicluster, is VoIP. And then also about etcd cluster bootstrapping. So I did a little bit of light research into these. I have a bit of a TLDR. Definitely open to people's opinions on or their experiences with these. I think the one I understand the least is how Active Directory uses SRV records. I don't know if all the super specifics of each of these individually is worth talking about or hashing out. Maybe it is, maybe it's not. I'm open to that. I think fundamentally my open question at this stage is, are for these use cases or any other ones that we're worried about for now, are the existing SRV records from cluster local DNS and the cluster.local zone sufficient for them? And should we take that as, you know, the tip to like drop SRV records from the multi-cluster DNS proposal or not? So I'll pause there in case there's any immediate feelings based on that.
I would think that open question, that the existing cluster local implementation is probably fine. I think these, if I remember correctly, were examples of use cases that people are already running on Kubernetes using server records. So, so that would suggest that just copying what happens for cluster local services is probably the right move. I think in general, if it weren't correct, we'd probably want to go back to SIG network and see about you know, expanding cluster local behavior rather than trying to fix it with multi-cluster.
Oh, I guess what this open question for me is should we not have these? Should we not copy the SRV record format for multi-cluster DNS? Can they just live with these, even if these were deployed in a multi-cluster situation?
Got it.
Yeah.
I would think that if you wanted a multi-cluster Active Directory deployment, for example, you probably need multi-cluster records.
Gotcha. Yeah, I know very little about this, but yeah, I think it's a question of like, if you're deploying Active Directory on multi-cluster Kubernetes, if you're deploying your VoIP system on multi-cluster Kubernetes, and then I guess if you're deploying your etcd cluster.
Yeah, if you're deploying etcd on Kubernetes.
On etcd. So yeah, but yeah, so what I'm hearing from you is that probably yes, this is enough motivation, I think, since I was originating from a point of, oh, maybe we don't need SRV records because people don't use them. And then obviously they are used in these cases. And then I think what I'm hearing is, if these cases, like, we should allow for people to deploy these cases on multi-cluster, and therefore if they depend on SRV records, we also need to include SRV records in multi-cluster DNS. That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah, I think that's right. Our original question was, is anybody using these anyway? Can we drop them? I think we got a pretty solid yes, they are in use.
Awesome. Cool. Okay, then I will, right now the this tab, this pull request leaves in all the stuff about the SRV records, so it's already still in here. So I just won't remove it, but still open to people taking a look as well. Okay, cool. Did anybody else have anything else, feelings about this? Or I think even if you have other use cases, it's worth recording for posterity. So feel free to let me know any which way. Otherwise, I'll just move on to the next quick update. So for cluster ID, there is a poll open until this Friday for the name of the API group. I think I haven't filled it out here. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. So there's some background info here to explain the situation. and these are the options. There's like a ranking. So please feel free to put in your 2 cents there. I'm leaving it open until Friday. And that will also help inform a little bit about, we have opened a SIGs repo for the implementation to go. Right now it's named after one of these specifically, but we'll just change it if, you know, if it falls out that way, you know, like if the ranking is different. And also we'll be going through API review with SIG architecture since we are using the Kate's IO space. So I think it's possible that for whatever other reasons, we may need to diverge from the community ranking, but we'll definitely use that as the basis for making the decision if there's no other restrictions. So yeah, just wanted to call that out, and that's what's going on there. I think Paul was still going to give a look to the pull request, so I can ping him too. But there, I'll throw in the link to this too if anybody hasn't had the link to the cluster ID pull request as it is right now, if you want to give that a look.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's all I wanted. I wanted to give the update on. So.
Okay, well, super short agenda this week. Does anyone have anything else they want to discuss? All right, then I think we may just have a very short meeting this week. Thanks, everyone. Yeah, please fill out that poll so we can decide an API group and move forward with cluster ID.
Cool. And yeah, still taking comments on all PRs. So I'll add them to the agenda notes here right after this.
Great. Thank you, Laura. And thanks, everyone. Have a great week.
Cool. See y'all.